Big Z Reviews. Old is the newest M Knight Shyamalan movie, and for better and worse, it is definitely a Shyamalan movie.
What happened to her?
Body has decomposed.
How quickly can that happen?
7 years.
But she just died.
Wait, where are the kids?
Trent!
Kara!
Come here!
Hey, have you seen my children?
Mom? I'm right here.
So first off, this is the kind of movie that is pretty much ruined by the trailer. It has pretty much all the moments of the movie in the trailer. But the actual movie itself, when it starts off, it's... Look, I have a lot of respect for M. Night Shyamalan. Because, I mean, he's an interesting guy. He always has interesting movies. And he funds his movies himself. Like, this is all his own money he puts into these things. And I think that allows him to have complete creative control. And I think that he probably should hire someone to help edit the script. Because this has a lot of M. Night Shyamalan dialogue. And then his dialogue is just so bad. And then when you have mostly non-English speaking actors, or non-first language speaking language actors, and you have kids delivering Shyamalan lines, it's tough. But at the same time, it almost creates this like weird dreamlike quality because it's so unreal and weird that it's almost like dreamlike and weird. But it's tough. Before they get to the beach, and even when they try to explain stuff, his dialogue is just so bad. It makes it tough. But, you know, once they get to the beach and things start happening, I think that, you know, I'll go into full spoilers or later. But for now, it's just that, let's just say, in a beach making people old, it's tough. It's going to be tough to do it right. Because, I mean, you'd have to be changing the makeup. You know, if you actually want to make one look real, like every hour, you have to change your makeup. And they don't do that. Instead, it's like every couple hours there's a huge jump, which is especially shown with the kids as they grow up. But like the actual, once that certain point is like they're exactly the same, and then later they're 40 years older. You know, it's like, it's a little heavy-handed, but at the same time, it's tough. But I think the best parts of this film are the body horror. There's some really interesting and creepy and disgusting body horror. But again, like before I go to full spoilers, I think it's okay to spoil stuff that's in the trailer. But let's just say when you something happens and like you think that, well, like, wait, did I just watch two 16-year-olds that are actually 6 years old bang in the tent and then have a baby that immediately died? And then it's like, wow, that's odd. And there's some other odd stuff, like again in the trailer where the one girl played when she was a teenager by Thomas and Mackenzie. It's like you know, she's a girl. She's like a 11, 12-year-old in the bikini. And then she grows up and that bikini is a little too small. And it's like they make a point of it. Like she is an attractive woman now. And it's like, look at her. She's hot now. What you gonna do, Dad? I don't know. It's a little weird. And the acting, especially again, the non-first language English speakers, but Gael Garcia Bernal as a dad or a guy, he is very bad. Like Marky Mark in The Happening bad. But like, I feel like Marky Mark knew it was bad and was like laughing at it. But I feel like Gael Garcia Bernal is actually trying his hardest. And I don't know if I blame the actor. I think part of it is the director. Like the director, if they're really leading the actors wrong or not helping them, like that, you can always tell how good a director is at directing actors by how the kids, act. And this, you say that he's not an actor's director, I think, Shyamalan, because all of them is just so heavy-handed. But again, some of it almost increases the dreamlike quality to it because it's so bad. But, but I mean, like, there's an interesting cast of characters, like, but I mean, there's again, there's some interesting body horror stuff, especially with Abby Lee as Crystal. She has like a calcium deficiency, so things start to go weird. And you have like Rufus Sewell as Charles. You start to think maybe he has Alzheimer's or dementia or something else. And there's a lot of drama with that, even though he should be the most valuable person because he's a doctor. And there's a lot of stuff with like the woman had like a really tiny tumor, a benign tumor, but then. Well, if the 20 years go by on the beach, the tumor going to get big. What you going to do? And there's some really interesting stuff. Like the idea of a beach that makes you old is interesting. But I think the movie fails when it tries to explain everything in the end. And now this is going to be full spoilers, just about the twist. Because it isn't really a twist. It's just, it explains the entire movie. There's like 10, 15 minutes at the end of the movie. It gets so anticlimactic. Like the movie apparently ends, and then you get an extended epilogue where everything is explained. But by explaining it, they break it. Like, again, this is kind of like The Village, where the twist kind of ruins the movie. Like it makes the movie lesser than it was. Again, full spoiler. It's revealed in the end that this whole setup, it's not an evil genius, it's not like some weird phenomena, it's not the gods or something. It's a pharmaceutical company. And they're testing experimental drugs on these people and then watching them as they die. And it just doesn't work. If you know anything about scientific testing, it's so idiotic. Because what does it matter? Like the big thing is like, oh, it's a tough day, but we found a treatment for epilepsy. She went equivalent of 30 years without having a seizure. Although then she had a seizure and died. But I think we did good. We're doing good here. We not evil. We good. And that's not how science works. Just because the group, the population size of the experiments is 1. That doesn't mean anything. What does it matter if one epileptic person is helped by this drug? It doesn't mean anyone else will be helped by it. And then it kind of breaks other stuff too, because obviously the movie, they wanted to have kids because they kind of have like the idea that, oh, you're growing so old, like you're going so big. I turn the corner and you're 12, you're 15. You know, they play on that. But it breaks it because how evil does this corporation have to be to bring in families to this beach? Like the kids don't have any disease. They don't have any disorder. Why bring families with kids? It doesn't make any sense. Like, and 2 of the 4 families that are on this beach this day have kids. So like, and the actual disorders, they're not rare. Like, I mean, it's like epilepsy, a benign tumor, there's dementia, or I guess they're trying to say is like it's schizophrenia, a calcium deficiency, a blood clotting problem with the wrapper, and the wrapper. Oh, it's such a M Night Shyamalan is like. He's definitely like, he may be Indian, but he's definitely a white guy, an old white guy in certain areas. He's trying to make a joke about rappers having weird names. And it's like, oh, look, Dad, look, that's Mid-Size Sedan. He's a huge rapper. And like, Mid-Size Sedan. Oh, no. Oh, no. Like, it's not even, doesn't even sound like a rapper name. Like, Lil Mid-Size Sedan is even slightly more like a name. But Like, and also there's a weird thing too when they explain about how they all got to the beach. It's like they got like it was they like put in this thing after getting like a pharmacy on the receipt. They followed the thing and they won something for this trip or something like that. And none of these people are wanting for money. Like you have the main family is a museum curator and an insurance adjuster. Then you have a nurse and a psychologist, and you have a head surgeon, and you have you assume millionaire rapper. Like these are not the people. They don't need a free trip. Like, I don't get the twist breaks it. And also too, again, when there's no sample size, the sample size is 1 and 1. But then like the actual drug delivery system is just a drink they're given when they arrive at the hotel. And even if you assume that with the how this thing works is like the minerals in the rocks, it must be the minerals in the rocks doing something to their cells. But even if you say that, and even if it's not that, like, if the half-life of the medicine in their body is lasts like they take it from a normal day, even though their bodies went through, like, a lifetime. Like, that's not, like, pharmaceutical companies are kind of evil. They're profit-driven. Like, they don't care about curing disease unless it's a pill they can give someone every day for the rest of their life. That's what they want. They want profit. And I feel like it's weird to have a pharmaceutical company be good. Like he's trying to make them sound like they're kind of doing good, and it's just odd what M Night Shyamalan did with the ending. And there's also stuff like, if you actually think about it, like the idea of this beach is kind of interesting. You can even say, I mean, like time, like there's like a black hole somewhere on the beach, and that's like causing time to move faster, or like there's something else. There's interesting things you could do with it, but like again, it's so funny. They like one of the people guess at what it is on the beach, and then when they explain in the end, it's exactly the same phrasing, and it's like, yeah, that was written by the same person, M Night Shyamalan, but like there could be cool stuff, but then they try to get away with so they don't have to give people new wigs every hour. They're like, how come our hair and nails aren't growing? And they're like, oh, it's because they're dead, so they're not grow. And this whole thing too, when the only people ever seen eating or drinking are the kids, and they try to explain something like that. They're growing mass, so they need to eat. And it's like, you know, and they're trying to get away with stuff to make the movie interesting. But the thing is, they show multiple times. It's really cool. Like when they're cut with a knife, it immediately heals. Like when the surgery scene, awesome scene. Because they have to hold the wound open because it's constantly trying to heal. Like, really cool scene. That's the thing. There's some really interesting stuff in this movie. That's why I don't hate it. It's good. Parts of it are good. But, you know, that costs energy. And everything they do costs energy, because I mean, the cells are obviously, no matter what they say they're doing, cells are dying. Cells are replicating, and cells are dying. They're replicating, dying, replicating, dying, replicating, dying, and the telomeres are growing shorter and shorter. Yeah, shorter and shorter. That's how our cellular age. So that would say that you know why they're getting older. But that costs energy. And, you know, the laws of thermodynamics, you know, energy cannot be created or destroyed. So their bodies would be wasting away unless they were constantly eating and drinking. And then pretty much, if if this actually worked like this, they would die of starvation and die of dehydration in like an hour. But, I mean, they have to get away with that for the movie. But, like, the stuff with the science is just, it's just bad. And it would be, you know, they have the level of belief. Like, you can have, like, you can believe if you're watching a movie, you know, you can, the level of disbelief. You can say, oh, I can kind of get with that. but if they left it without trying to explain it, like I can deal with some magic beach that makes you old, but I can't deal with trying to explain it with shitty science. That's what I hate. Still, though, I mean, there's interesting stuff here. Like, I love the body horror. Like, there's some really creepy scenes. Like, and there's some interesting stuff with like the people that are really obsessed with their body image and like how they grow old. Like, there's interesting stuff, and there's some weird sexual stuff, and at the same time that might happen because I mean, all those hormones raging in them. But like, it's weird to feature 6-year-olds banging and having babies. You know, it's odd. You know, you didn't have to do that. And it's weird to have like hot girls in bikinis, like, and then that bikini is too small. I have extra bikini. Put that on. Again, it's weird. But then there's like I like some stuff. I just wish it would have been fixed. It reminds me a little bit of the Purge movies. The first Purge movie has an incredibly interesting concept, but in the end, it's just a relatively ordinary home invasion thriller. And they did a whole series of movies after that, exploring it. Like, I could see more movies on this beach. Like, I assume now at the end, like, because of that, the scene where the guy has to go around, "Hi, what's your name and occupation? Okay, thanks." Like, because they did that, they know that this one guy's a cop, and they give them the notebook that tells them everything. That they can stop this organization, but like now the government knows about this beach now, so there could be some interesting experiments done here. Like maybe, I mean, for the benefit of the world, like it could do something like some sort of machine there to power energy. We should power more energy because it's being faster, but maybe send it elsewhere so there's more energy. That it's some interesting things you could do there. Or for a movie, they could be a gladiator. That'd be some really cool gladiator fights in this beach where their wounds immediately heal when they're getting older. Like, it could be some really interesting Hunger Game-ish style stuff. Like, the winner is told how to exit through the coral reef, and that's like if prisoners have a life sentence, they serve the life sentence in a day on the beach to save money. Like, there's a lot of interesting stuff you could do here, and like more power to M Night. He does his own films and they're weird, but more power to him, even if they're not great. Like, this one I'd probably give like a 6 out of 10. But thanks for watching. And if you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.